president. This cognac over ice, or some cold Neho on summer nights. A two-seater and a wife beater, a mamacita, half a zip and a few liters. This conversation's for the grown-ups, not the mental renters, but the true house owners. Why they try to take away the human rights they loan us? Can't believe nothing that they say, look what they shown us. You see it? Not to dwell on the hard times, utilizing your third eye, you see the signs. That's why I eat good and smoke nice. Every day I wake up, gotta live life to the fullest, ducking, dodging the bullets. That wood, don't try to pull it, my eyes are seeing through it. Energy overwhelming, the BS that they selling. Niggas snitching and telling you find that shit compelling. Come on, man.
Follow the leader, but leaders get overlooked. Life is a rare state, but we so overcooked. 48 laws, but I refer to the first. Third eye clouded, so it's time to reverse. Looking to the sky, I see no wonder why. No shine over here, only clouds say goodbye. Prayer and meditation seem to keep me motivated. We tapped into a matrix and it's so overrated. Trials and tribulations still got me racing. Trials and tribulations still got me waiting. Time traveling, trying to defeat my Satans, not realizing what I'm really facing. I'm just looking for a good look. In this land that I roam, everyone shook. To the goal, start to rise and they turn crook. So let me stimulate, so we can cultivate, baby.
Detroit Radio, Logical Entertainment. Just touching bases today with you today when Mr. Daniels, who's calling in to talk about his case. Mr. Daniels, can you tell everybody a little bit about yourself, who you are, and where you're from?
Well, my name is DeAndre Daniels. I'm from Chicago, Illinois, born and raised. Also, I lived and resided in Bloomington, Illinois, which is where I was incarcerated and convicted of.
What was life like for you growing up in Chicago and moving into that county where you got convicted? Tell me, what was your background like?
Well, growing up in Chicago, for me personally, it was an experience. It was life, as a lot of people in urban communities know, being raised by a mother and a grandmother with no father, who was killed at the hands of gun violence very young. That impacted my life a little bit, but I continue to press through. Always putting my education first and just loving life. I always, cared more about others than I did myself, and that carried me over into Bloomington Normal when I moved out there as a junior in high school. It was a totally different experience coming from a predominantly black community in Chicago to a very diverse demographic out there in Bloomington. It was a brand new experience. Opened my eyes to a lot of what the world had to offer.
How did you end up moving to Bloomington? What made that decision from you to transition from Chicago to Bloomington as a kid?
Well, first my mother moved down there. Growing up in life, we moved a lot, so when she got out there, I think she really felt that was the best place for her to raise her boys. Being a single mom of 5 boys and a baby girl definitely put us in position to have a better chance in life.
Look, one of the interesting things when we talked about Bloomington County and I looked up the demographics of it, I said, wow, the county was like, 93% white and about 7% African American?
It sure may seem that way. And like I say, that presented a whole another experience in life coming from Chicago with the mentality I have. But me, I felt I was always able to adjust pretty quickly and pretty fairly, so to say.
Okay.
I didn't feel
How
out
were
of
you?
place.
Oh, you didn't? Okay. So you think when you moved into Bloomington, you felt in place, and they were pretty open to you when you went into that community when your family moved to Bloomington?
Yeah, as a kid, a lot of people are for kids. So as a teenager, when I was there, I didn't see the realities of the world that we face as adults, because parents shelter kids a lot. So growing up, you're really not prepared for the dangers of the real world, so to say.
That's understood, and that is true. As kids, we don't actually see the big picture most of the time. We only look at it from our world and what our surroundings look like, as and being in the kids' world. That is true.
Yeah.
That is true. So I want you to talk to me. What happened? Why were you incarcerated?
So personally, I feel I was incarcerated because of my, let's just say, groups that I hung out with. This case happened in Bloomington Normal in 2012, and unfortunately, a lot of people I knew were involved in what they try to label as a gang beast, so to say. And all the evidence, all the police reports from the multiple detectives that they had of the rivalry they try to say it was, none of it ever mentioned me until this incident happened, and my name was mentioned as being a person who shot a young man. The young man, he suffered no serious injury, didn't need surgery, survived. Unfortunately, he was shot in the leg, and the county in which I happen to be in, which is McLean County, as I told you, I wasn't prepared for the dangers we face as a child, and when I transitioned to adult. And one of those dangers is being maliciously prosecuted by prosecutors who are looking to get ahead in life. So
trying to make a name.
And that is what happened in my situation. So that's why I say I feel like that's why I'm personally that's why I feel like I'm incarcerated, because none of the evidence pointed to me. In fact, all the evidence that the police had pointed to somebody else. Multiple people called, and to the 911, from the 911 calls up until the trial, the investigation, pre-trial, there was so much that pointed to somebody else committing this crime. And the state didn't want to hear it because of who I was at the time. Me being when I say that, I mean by me being the oldest one out of the group of guys I was hanging with, I felt it was personal for them to set an example.
Were there any other co-defendants on the case with you?
As far as the overall incident, yeah, it was 6 of us, I can recall. 2 of my younger brothers and 3 of my close friends that I called brothers at the time. We all was locked up, and me and my baby brother were actually charged with shooting other individuals in the case. So he's locked up right now. He was sentenced to 18 years for his first case ever. Even though the same evidence was not presented in his situation also. Nobody even testified that he shot anybody. Nobody testified that I shot nobody. And the actual victim in his case informed the police and the jurors in the court, hey, this guy didn't shoot me. Yeah, he was still convicted and sentenced to 18 years.
Wow.
All my other co-defendants, all my other co-defendants, due to other things that was going on in their life, they pled guilty to way lesser included charges to be able to get home to their families, you know, with probation and, you know, which is an unfortunate thing we deal with in the justice system. Guys be want to fight cases so much, but due to the power that's in the prosecutor's hands, you know, they overcharge, you know, they charge a guy with 10 different counts for one act, and then tell him, oh, you could get 20 years on this count, when all they did is the thing they end up pleading guilty to, and okay, go home on probation.
But that's the one thing I found interesting about your charges. You were sentenced on 4 different charges. How many was it? How many charges were you dealing with?
Yeah, I was convicted of 4 different charges: attempt murder, aggravated battery with a firearm, aggravated discharge of a firearm, and possession of a firearm. And for the attempt murder, I was sentenced to 47 years at 85%. And the courts will require you to do 85% of that time, which is what the Supreme Court has labeled a de facto life sentence. And as I said before, I've been given a de facto life sentence in a case in which nobody was killed, nobody was seriously hurt, nobody testified that I committed this crime, and all evidence pointed to somebody else committing this crime.
What were the demographics of that jury during your trial? Was it all white?
It's sad to say, but
mixed?
I had an all-white jury, you know, in a town where I know, like, I think you just gave out a statistic that it was like 90% white or Caucasian people in McLean County. But my jury pool was 100% of that demographic.
And
So
never
clearly misrepresented the community in which I was charged.
Correct. Definitely. And we know that's a downfall when you have a court-appointed attorney and, you know, and they already got a cut deal with the prosecutor and the judge already. It's already in play. They're just telling you, hey, this is how it's going to go, and they're not going to go that extra effort for you. So one of the things I wanted to ask you, how many times have you appealed this case to try to get them to open the trial back up, you know, so you can really, but they can really look at the evidence and look at those witnesses again, even the victims?
Well, technically, this will be my 3rd appeal. Well, my first appeal, you know, was after the trial, and in that appeal, you can only bring forth what they call issues that's a part of the trial record. So none of the new evidence or evidence that wasn't presented at trial, I was able to present in that first appeal. In that first appeal, we just argue issues such as court errors and errors committed by the trial. And unfortunately, even though the appellate court agreed with the underlying substance of my argument on appeal, they still denied me my opportunity for a retrial due to what they call errors by my counsel. So that was when I was able to file what I'm doing now, which is a post-conviction petition, in which I can raise those errors by my counsel and present all the other evidence. So after appealing that, I was able to present some of this evidence to the court, and that's what happened March 23rd of 2022. We was able to present all our evidence before the court, where multiple witnesses testified that somebody in fact committed this crime. And my attorney testified that, you know, to the truth of his errors. Yet and still, the judge or the court in this case decided that we don't want to retry this case. We're not going to give you a new trial based on that. So that's why I'm in the process of appealing that decision now.
And what year did you? How long ago was this? Where you submitted this appeal to show the errors. They noticed the errors of your counsel. How long ago was this? How long did it take for them to figure this out?
Man, I first filed my post-conviction petition in 2017. So it's been 6 years since I filed my petition with this evidence, these issues, since that the court is able to hear. It's been 6 years since then, and I'm still fighting the process.
Yeah. And you got to keep fighting, man. Don't give up, whatever you
got to.
Keep fighting. What level of support have you received so far in the petition process? Just from maybe people outside that are learning about your story, or people that are reaching out to you within the prison system? What level of support have you received?
Well, early on, it was really just family. When unfortunately, when things like this happen, it happens so much in our community that we become numb to it. Just like when we see a brother of any color getting killed by police officers, unarmed brothers at that. We see it so often, we become numb to it, and it's like the same thing is happening in a situation like this. People getting wrongfully convicted. People are talking about the criminal justice system, and nobody's doing them because it's just so much. So it's just another guy trying to get home, and people might be hearing this now and think the same thing, but it's not just another guy trying to get home or somebody else doing something bad. It's somebody's brother, somebody's uncle. It could be your brother, your uncle, your son, your grandson that's fighting for his life, where the system has their knee on his neck, killing him slowly. But as you say, I can't give up, I can't fight. So thanks to As a Team We Matter, those that are in charge over there, they have really ramped up the support in the last year or so to really help bring awareness to not only my situation, but more like this. So I'm just not a one guy trying to get home. I'm a guy who's trying to create something that extends beyond me to affect real change in the system that we fight against.
And explain to people what As a Team We Matter does.
Well, As a Team We Matter, it's really about bringing awareness to the injustices we face, like malicious prosecution, disparity in the sentencing in black and brown communities, the resources, highlighting how resources are scarce when it comes to those who come from poverty, as we do. And as we deal this, we can see how people get involved when they see a coalition coming together. Like what we're doing here today, the things that have been building on the social media campaign. Gaining that awareness is what lets people know, hey, something is wrong over there. Somebody needs to take a look at that. And if we could do that right here and right now, we can do it for more and more. And it's not about letting criminals go or those who are deserving of what comes. It's about taking a look and making sure we got the just results of crimes that are committed.
Okay. And I want everybody to be able to tap in and go to change.org. And you make sure you look at DeAndre Daniels and sign that petition, because it's very important. We help our young men in situations like this be able to defeat this systematic injustice that we deal with daily, especially as black and brown people in America. And DeAndre, you have anything you want to say before you go?
And I just want to thank everybody for listening, the support, that visit asateamwematter.life. Make sure everybody hit the website and just continue to help press for change. I'm grateful. I praise y'all every day for the opportunity to be able to speak to people, to be able to do what I got to do, to have the support I have with my wife and my family. It's just truly a blessing.
God bless you, brother, and our prayers are with you, and we'll keep fighting with you.
betrayal, life.
In danger space, look what you're facing, gave your heart away. And all the remedies couldn't ease the pain. All the hurt and betrayal need to get away. In a world so cold, you gain the life just to lose your soul. Never thinking twice about what the future. All the lies and the games now we're fighting for. The world is an addiction, serving up a fix. The world is an addiction, way too much for me.
Snitches and rapists in the streets, crime to the fullest. Asking niggas if they got any extra 9 bullets. They deny me that. They know the bullets they loan me be the same ones that probably had them lying flat, stressed out, letter T. It's better to dead a beef than let it breathe, then we don't succeed. Cause then you gotta murder dummies. Wasting time, they allergic to money. I'm never squirmish to blood. Wicked thug, get out of hand. What's the options? Only conclusion, shooting bullets popping. Hoodlums dropping, for any day the feds will come knocking. Was young and nervous, asking myself what's my purpose. In the back of a paddy wagon, bracelets aching me. Pigs ignoring the match, what precinct they taking me. These cops can't relate to me. Death to prison, empty vacancy.
The world is an addiction, serving up a fix. The world is an addiction, way too much for me.
Thou shalt not be selfish, real nigga commandments. Know a billionaire, he has everything but a fam. Guess how angry this man gets. Has so many bad chicks in his bed. Strange sex, same sex, has addictions that are sadistic. Chain of events, habits. He puts cocaine on his prick and Act 6. Self-esteem needs boosting. Alcohol consumption, nicotine fusion. Some athletes juicing. Pastors quote biblical chapters, psalms. All along he's in a bestiality porn, and it's wrong. So I keep the Cali weed in the bomb. And I'm strong, but the female anatomy got me sprung. And these women need shoes and bags, cars and condos, fine clothes, and these fiends need to get high so they find dope to mainline dope. And y'all know
The world is an addiction, serving up a fix. The world is an addiction, way too much for me.
so many vices, habits, mine of course, bad chicks. My response to any advice on what is the essentials of life. I'm just rebellious, not selfish. Guess we all share different definitions what wealth is. I need the best things in life, that's women, that's cars, cigars. A Venice bottle on ice is priceless. The other night, just in the emergency room, patient said she needs to see a doctor soon. Doctor busy operating on a lady who's sedated. He can barely concentrate cause he's newly separated. His estranged wife likes entertaining her acquaintance in the house. They were married and mad people waiting, some young, some old. Heads and stomachs aching, filling out an application cause they all need medication, but the doctor need love or a quick vacation. Calling up his travel agent, same time premeditating murdering his ex-wife. Life savage, ain't it? Some need Xanax just to maintain it. We all need faith cause the world keep changing. Let go of the illusion, start some restraining.
Just hold on,